Hello everyone, welcome to the market outlook for the week. Gaurang Shah here from Geojit Financial Services. And just to reflect upon last week trade, we did see some kind of consolidation and profit booking, but there was eventually some amount of recovery visible on the Sensex and Nifty, especially on the last trading day, that was Friday. This week, well, as I speak to you this Monday afternoon, there is once again a meaningful recovery from the lows of somewhere close to about 15,500 or thereabouts on the Nifty spot, and equally so on the Sensex. Uh, our guess is that this week could be choppy and volatile, given that on Thursday uh, we have the FNO expiry. So expect choppiness and volatility coming in for the markets, uh, maybe tomorrow, day after, or even on Thursday. But if everything goes well and if there is no negativity in terms of news flow, then my guess is that we should be able to hold on to the levels of 15,500 that we made couple of times, 15,450, 15,500 on the Nifty spot. I don't think we are going to breach that very easily. And given the fact that uh, twice that we have gone to those levels, we've seen meaningful recovery coming into the market, both last week on Friday and when we started the trade for this week on Monday morning. So marginally in the green, Sensex and Nifty is trying to come into the green. Bank Nifty is also contributing to a great extent. And the other data points that we normally look at are in form of crude oil. $73.48 a barrel on Brent, 71.6065 a dollar per barrel on the NYMEX. Expectation is that these elevated levels could continue for some more time, and I think the prices for petrol and diesel should also be equally adjusted at a higher level as we go forward from here on. On the rupee dollar front, extended weakness, 74.15, 74.20 INR against the dollar. That is with weakness where we trade. And this could also be range bound, 74.10, 74 on the strength against the dollar for the INR. And if you talk about the weakness, then we could possibly head towards 74.40 and 50 on the weakness as far as INR is concerned against the dollar. So that's the broad data points for the market, both on the equity and commodity and currency side. Buying on dips has been recommended earlier, and that's what is exactly recommended even for the rest of the week. Just in case if we see some amount of weakness coming through because of an expiry, choppiness, volatility, profit booking, then lower levels should be used as a buying opportunity. And sectors and stocks we've been discussing, they continue to remain in the spotlight for investors, starting with the pharma, IT, FMCG, private sector banks, select public sector banks, cement, metals, and consumption discretionary. I think that's where the focus is going to be, along with some few cherry picking pockets as far as auto and auto ancillary goes. Uh, since monsoon is picking up, our sense is that agri related stock should also be in the focus, whether it is to do with irrigation, whether it is to do with farm and tractor equipments, or whether it is to do with fertilizer. uh, Possibly you will see extended kind of upside, given that the expectation of above normal monsoon for the third or the fourth consecutive year, and along with that government focus to add to the agri productivity in terms of more crop per drop. So if everything goes well, I think after a brief period of consolidation for this week, that is up till Thursday when the FNO expiry is scheduled for, we could possibly see Nifty marching towards 15,800, 15,900, and even 16,000 if everything has to go well. On the downside, well, if we are not breaching 15,500, 15,450 on the Nifty spot, then I think we are quite stable. But just in case if the news flows don't support, then possibly 15,300 or thereabouts could also be tested. But that's a remote possibility as of now when I speak to you this Monday afternoon. Flows remain robust from domestic as well as FI side. Some days of negative figures should not be sending any kind of nervousness. Uh, our sense is that flows from the domestic institution side is likely to pick up as we go forward, and contribution from retail investors via SIP mode is also likely to pick up in terms of participation into equity market. So the belief is that profit booking cannot be ruled out, and buying opportunities will also come in at lower levels. Uh, Stick to known names. My only worry is in the recent times over the last 3-4 days, some of the lesser known names which have got a history of being in news for all the bad reason, those stocks have started to hog the limelight. Now that is where a little bit of cautiousness creeps in, because whenever you see stocks associated with especially ADAG group running away in 2 or 3 days time frame, then market does sound some kind of alarm bells. So one needs to be a little bit careful and cautious. And my humble request, friends, is that please do not get attracted by these kind of sucker rallies, as I call it. Stay away from all those names which have been in the news for all the wrong reason. And as we've been always advising investors is to look at quality names, quality companies, and as I always say, you should buy quality, not quantity. Buy few shares, but buy of good management, sound companies, rather than buying truckloads of lesser known names with uh, lesser credibility and bad management, and being in news for all the wrong reasons. So that's the humble request that all the investors should especially avoid. Uh, Power sector is something that looks very, very interesting, along with the uh, power transmission distribution sector, and that is primarily because of the power consumption that is going up. Fortunes of power generating, transmission, and distribution companies have also turned the table, uh, primarily because of the numbers that all these companies reported, and along with that, friends, the policy changes that the government made for the state electricity board. So amongst the power generating names that we are positive, the name that comes to me uh, as of now when I speak to you is private sector Tata Group company called Tata Power, and this company is also venturing into renewable green energy, solar energy, great footprints in terms of pan India business strategy, and also foray into charging station is what we have heard. Of course, there needs to be clarity over there, but overall I think this is one company amongst the power generating pack that looks quite promising, and not to forget, it comes from the great pedigree Tata Group. Uh, Understanding is that the solar energy business is likely to contribute to a great extent as and when the business strategy is laid down at ground level, and it progresses from there on. So power generation, transmission, and distribution is something that you should look at. But again, stick to the quality names. Don't go into unknown, uncharted territories is what I would request. Uh, Overall, on the COVID front, well, today is the 21st, and if you just recollect when the Honorable Prime Minister was addressing the nation last time, uh, the vaccination process is likely to multiply going forward from here on, given that large amount of vaccines have been ordered, and if what I read yesterday and this morning in terms of news report, then most of the states are now getting their quota of vaccines to enable the states to vaccinate uh, as many people as possible, and to up the run rate in terms of vaccination process. Now, if this unfolds well, then I think there should be more positivity for the market. Along with that, we've also heard that various states have further relaxed the restrictions that were put in place for the re-lockdown or lockdown 2.0. The only concern is in form of the third wave, which we all have been hearing about, and as we heard from the experts, we could possibly be going towards that in the next couple of weeks' time. Uh, Humble request: wear mask, keep social distancing, go by the COVID appropriate behavior, and do not overcrowd. I think this is what the mantra is. Vaccination process will continue, but I think as responsible citizens, as I always uh, convey our view to all of you all, is to behave as a responsible citizen, and I think that will help in overcoming the third wave as and when it comes, uh, and we would be more prepared in terms of infrastructure, health infrastructure, and in terms of hospitalization process. So I think we have to contribute, and that's where the impact could be restricted as far as the third wave is concerned. So overall, friends, we remain positive on the market. Buy on dip should be your strategy. Look at the sectors that I've mentioned, and power generation is something that should be also something in terms of investment, long-term horizon, you should definitely look at. Take care, stay safe, pray to God for your good health, and I will see you again next week. Thank you so much, and bye bye.